Purple Daily is presented by TCL. No matter what you watch, TCL has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. And TCL makes more than just TVs. They offer mobile products, audio devices, home appliances as well. TCL, bringing you joy and simplicity through innovative technology. Learn more at TCL.com.
Mackey and Judd, U.S. Bank Stadium. We're just hanging out during a commercial break, and I saw what I thought was the Undertaker from the WWE walk by, and it turns out it's 6'8" Alex Boone stopping by.
What's up, guys?
Can you choke slam somebody? Like if we had you choke slam our intern over the balcony.
I would gladly do it after he spilled that cream cheese on this beautiful floor.
Look at it.
And
on the floor, and he just stepped on it now. Our intern
I don't mind the stain on the floor.
Do you know how much these couches are going to cost?
Shenanigans.
Yeah, these are as I have my feet on the couches already. I should probably take them
but your shoes are white and they're clean. I mean, you can see how clean they are. You have a huge stain in front of you on the floor. Somebody get Kevin
my partner,
over here.
A yacht rock guy. That's why his shoes are white. He's huge into yacht rock.
Well, you come from wine country. These will fit. These will fit right.
See, right there.
You look like a wine country kind of a guy.
You played in wine country.
Spend a weekend.
You don't come from.
I don't
be very
come.
Clear about that.
I come from a very blue collar city, and I'm very proud to be where I'm from.
This is a blue collar city here too, in which it's going to be. This is the problem. This is what we wrestled with here as fans and as the Vikings. You've got this built-in advantage, which the Vikings had in the playoff game against Seattle last year. Do you put a roof on it or do you not put a roof on it?
Yeah.
Would you have signed here if there was no roof on the stadium?
No, I know. Yeah, I would have signed here.
Okay.
Yeah, no question.
You're cool playing in the December 20th, 15 degrees below zero situation.
I thought that's what I was walking into. Like I was like, hey, listen, who's excited to play outside a little bit more? They were like, somebody didn't tell this guy. Apparently the stadium's done, dude. I was like, oh.
In fact, it's going to be like 82 on game days because they crank the heat up too much.
Are you being serious here?
100%.
You really didn't know the stadium?
No, so when I knew I was coming here, right, I told my wife. And she was like, all right, well, what does that mean? I was like, well, that means we're going to have to get a lot of coats because we're going to be outside a lot in the games. And then I got here, and I called her. I said, hey, stadium's done. I guess it's inside. I was like really upset.
Is the ink dry yet? Can we go back on this?
Is there an eraser on that? No.
What is it like being a blue-collar Big Ten lineman playing in wine country?
You know, it's different, and it was funny because the first couple weeks I was out there, somebody said to me, "You're not from here, are you?" I said, "No, honey, I'm not." But you know, I take it with pride. You know, it's the perfect position for a blue collar guy, a guy that's just going to go out and work and grind and beat the crap out of you and have a good time doing it. You know, and that's what I really take a lot of pride in. And being from Cleveland, there are a lot of good offensive linemen from there.
How many times in your post-game press conferences this year will you say the words lunch pail?
Maybe once or twice.
Lunch pail guy.
Maybe once or twice.
When you guys played the Gophers when you were at Ohio State, how much of a laughingstock are our Minnesota Gophers? I mean, every year we're trying to be optimistic.
I'm not going to say that they're a laughingstock, but I will say this, and I will tell you right now, this is my biggest pet peeve since I've been here. There's not a lot of them. But I swear to God, if somebody else calls Minnesota the U, I'm going to die.
Oh, that happens a lot, man.
I'm going to die.
I do that all the time. So I graduated from what I call the U.
It's not the U.
You have to ask them if you can use their saying before you just use it.
No, I know.
And it's not deserved.
No, it's really not.
Let's be very
clear.
We have basically sucked for my entire lifetime. You can't call yourself the U.
No, and it was funny because I was talking to this couple, and they were like, yeah, my son plays at the U. I was like, oh, my God, Miami, how cool. And then she goes, no.
Dwayne Johnson, it's crazy. He's in movies now. No,
she was like, no, Minnesota. I said, oh, University of Minnesota. She's like, yeah, the U. I said, no, honey. Listen, you can't just call something the U because you want to and it feels good.
Yeah.
So being from Cleveland, Cavaliers, finally ending.
Finally, like a 55-year.
What does it mean to you?
Unbelievable. You know, and this was my dilemma, and I'm glad I'm on the radio because I can finally say this. I was in San Francisco when Golden State was doing all their 26-0, and so I was really excited for them. And my wife was too. And then all of a sudden, we came here, and she became a Cavs fan right away, but I was still rooting for Golden State because I was like, well, you know, I'm a big fan. We watch the games all the time at the facility, and we'd eat dinner. And then all of a sudden, they're playing the Cavs, and I'm kind of like, oh, man, now I'm really torn. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know? Do I go Cleveland? Do I go... And so I was like, you know what, I'm neutral. My wife hated that answer. She was like, how dare you?
How could you go neutral? How could you do that?
It's hard. I was rooting for Steph Curry for how many months, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait, no, LeBron. I don't want to be a bandwagoner.
But it's your team. You're from Cleveland.
Listen.
You guys hadn't won a title since 65.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really a big basketball fan, if you haven't noticed. I like contact sports, hockey.
Did you? But at 6'8", at some point in your life, you had to have either played basketball or have been pushed toward basketball, right?
I did, and I was so bad. I was terrible.
You can be an uncoordinated, horrible big man white
you
guy.
foul out.
Go to Wisconsin, and then B, come off the bench in the NBA for like 5 years.
Play in the
Big
Ten. Yeah, you're fine. You'd be great.
Oh, yeah,
in the
it's
Big
Like, you
Ten.
think like Greg Steemsma is any different than you?
No, but I'm saying, like, I'm very, I'm aggressive. So I'm like, I kind of want to hit a few guys out there. And they're like, listen, you're done. Get off the court. I was constantly like, you got to go. You got to go. I'm like, well, I just don't belong here.
Hockey guy, though? You said you're.
Oh, I love
you like hockey.
I love
Some
it.
Wild games in your future, then?
I went to the last Wild game that was here. And I was so upset that they lost, especially because that was a goal, by the way. And I still remember that, where the puck went in, but they said it wasn't.
So what they call it,
still
that was
pisses
the,
me
it was
off.
the parallax angle, right?
Yes.
That's what they had this big scientific study about how the camera angle makes it look like the puck is a foot past the line, but then when you take in the 3D, well, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. Let's bring science into sports. That'll make things great. Listen, all I know was it was a goal, and Minnesota got robbed.
Listen, you are a hockey fan, but I got news for you. You're a hockey fan circa 1978 or so, because you like fighting.
I do.
See, they're trying to get rid of it. You're the type of guy that would see a bench clearing brawl and think, hell yes.
And I'm the guy
Everybody
that takes my
off.
helmet off. My wife's like, what is wrong with you? Every time you fight, you take your helmet off. I go, I don't know. It's just natural.
Isn't it funny, though? So compare what they do in hockey. So two guys, there's either something, a feud between the teams, or two guys aren't getting along, and the action stops. The referees all just sort of stand around.
They mill around,
right,
yeah.
until someone hits the ground.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
And I've always said this on our show, and this is why I think fighting in hockey is unless you want to attach a goal. Whoever wins the fight, that team gets a goal, then I'm okay with it. Imagine if fighting existed in the NFL. The referees all gather around.
Hey,
guys
Tony,
take
what are you doing
helmets
tonight?
out. Yeah.
This guy's old school, okay? An old soul, like me.
I am an old soul. I was raised by my grandpa, and he would have killed me if I said this. But I enjoy the fighting. I mean, you watch it, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. This is a man's game.
What was playing for Jim Harbaugh like?
It was incredible. Jim was such a treat. He would always have the greatest one-liners or the greatest true stories, and his fingers were all mangled, so his pinky would come out sideways, and he'd always do this, all right, well, listen.
Rearrange his
Is
fingers.
it broken fingers from like aggressive snaps?
No. So he'd always tell us too. He'd be like, I broke my arm once, and he'd lift it up, and it was angled differently. So the bones met at a different angle, and you'd be like, oh my God, what is wrong with this guy? His fingers were out here, and it never missed a snap. Yeah, I'd be like, this guy's the man. He was funny. He was one of those guys that demanded the absolute best, and he brought the best out of everybody, and you loved him for it. But sometimes you hated him for it because, we do get tired. We're not robots, and we're not, anything but football players. And sometimes you'd be like, Jim, I can't move today. He'd be like, well, I had an extra team, so hopefully you get nice and loose.
That's a great facial Jim Harbaugh expression right there. Just that kind of the squinty eye.
He mangles his face up. It's very odd.
And he'd always say that. That just drives me nuts.
He seems like he's a 3-4 year guy in the NFL. He might come back at some point, but he seems like the perfect college fit because by the time you get sick of him, you're graduating.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
true.
matter, right?
But you love him. You love him because he's one of those guys that just pushes you and pushes you and pushes you. And he's one of those guys, and you don't see a lot of this, but he's one of those generals that he does it first before he asks you to do it. Like, hey, let's stay and watch film. Hey, Jim, I'm tired. I'm tired too, but I'm gonna be here all night. And you come back the next day, truck hasn't moved.
Let's jump in the cold tub with our khakis on. All right,
that's a quarterback right there. That's what you want from your quarterback.
And that's what I see in Teddy, and I love that about him. I had him over the other day for a barbecue, and he's just a great guy to talk to. He's so funny. And at first I told him, I said, listen, I didn't think you were going to like me because you're very reserved. And I'm not reserved in any way. I'm a firm believer in maximum effort.
We
all
figured
the time.
that out, by the way.
Yes. And he was like, dude, I love the way you are. And I was like, Teddy, we're going to get along great. I mean, I love everything about him. He's very calm all the time. I've never seen him flustered. We've had some practices where maybe he should have been, but he never shows it. Yeah. And you love that about a guy because when you look at your quarterback, you want to see the confidence. You want to know, hey, listen, I don't care what they do. We're going to go score. And that's the truth. And I love that about him.
Yeah. Alex Boone, man, we got to go pay some bills, so we got to get out of here and run some commercials. But thanks for coming over and
always a pleasure,
talking
guys.
some shop, man.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, guys.
If you could just maybe give a power bomb or a pile driver here to young intern Duncan on your way out.
Hey, Duncan, seriously, that better be cleaned up before I leave, or you're in trouble.
Mackey and Judd back with more from U.S. Bank Stadium next.
It's Mackey here for Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been around for over 100 years, helping business owners maximize the success of their business through risk management tools and resources. It's like having a great offensive line for your business, just thwarting off risks and things that could potentially cost your bottom line. Find out how Federated can help your business by going to federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.